Now, picture this. It's a dark and stormy night well. Maybe not stormy, but definitely dark. And there I am, standing in our kitchen like a lost pup, bathed in the soft glow of the moon. Just minding my own business when ding, a text from John pops up. We need to talk. Oh boy, here we go. Now, let me paint you a picture of John and me, 22 years deep, 2 kids, in a business that's more like our 3rd child. We're the og power couple of our little town, the ones folks turn to for relationship tips and fashion advice. But lately, something's been off. John's been as distant as my great Aunt Mildred at a family reunion. Late nights at the office turned into suspicious absences, and I'm left playing detective like I'm in some low-budget crime drama. So, there we are, me and John, sitting at the kitchen table like it's Judgment Day. And boy, does he drop a bombshell. I've met someone else. Lisa, she's younger, and I think I'm in love with her. Well, slap me sideways and call me shocked. Lisa, or whoever she is, must have some serious voodoo going on because my man is spilling his guts like he's on Oprah. I don't you have to tell me she is younger, boy. I used to be too. I'm sitting there, trying to process this mess, and I muster up the courage to ask the million-dollar question, how could you do this to us, to our family? Cue the dramatic music. Folks, because this is where it gets real. You think I haven't been tempted by the idea of a new man, a fresh start. But guess what? Johnny boy, I chose to stay. I chose us, our family, our life. How about them apples? And just like that, he's out the door, leaving me to pick up the pieces of my shattered heart like I'm playing a game of emotional Jenga. But here's the kicker. While John's out there chasing his midlife crisis, I'm out here hustling like Beyoncé on tour. I dive headfirst into running the boutique, turning it into the hottest spot in town faster than you can say discount sale. My kids become my ride or die crew, and together, we slay every obstacle that comes our way. Meanwhile, John's little fling with Miss Young and Restless fizzles out quicker than a cheap firework on the 5-Age of October. Turns out, real love ain't about chasing after the next shiny thing. It's about sticking by your people through thick and thin. And as for John's grand attempt at reconciliation, let's just say he learns the hard way that you can't waltz back into someone's life like it's an open door. When I shut him down with that, I'm not some light switch line. John realizes he's messed up big time, but hey, that's life. And as I strut away like the queen I am, John's left eating a big old slice of humble pie. So, to all my sisters out there dealing with their own John-sized drama, listen up. Know your worth, keep your head held high, and never let anyone dim your sparkle. Life's too short for anything less than fabulous, darling. All right, so after the whole John saga, I found myself standing on the edge of a brand new adventure, dating. Now, don't get it twisted, I was as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I mean, what do you even wear on a first date these days? My girl Tanya, bless her heart, decided it was time for an intervention. She showed up at my house one Friday night, armed with a bottle of wine, a stack of fashion magazines, and her laptop. Girl, it's time you get back out there. You're a catch, and any man would be lucky to have you. Now, let's get you on these dating apps, she said, her fingers flying over the keyboard like she was auditioning for America's Next Top Typist. We spent the evening crafting the perfect profile. My bio was a mix of sass and sincerity. Boutique owner, mom of 2 amazing kids, and lover of all things fabulous. Looking for someone who can make me laugh and keep up with my busy life. Fast forward a week, and I had my first date. His name was Kevin, and he seemed charming enough online. We decided to meet at a trendy cafe downtown. I walked in, heart pounding, clutching my purse like it was a life raft. Kevin turned out to be a talker, and by talker, I mean he talked nonstop about his cat. Don't get me wrong, I love a good pet story, but an hour in, I knew the names, favorite toys, and dietary habits of all 6 of his feline friends. When he finally paused to take a breath, I jumped in. So, Kevin, what do you like to do for fun besides hanging out with your cats? He blinked, looking genuinely puzzled. Well, I'm pretty much a homebody. My cats and I have a great routine. Needless to say, there wasn't a second date with Catman Kevin, but it made for a hilarious story to share with Tanya and the girls over brunch. After a few more lackluster dates, I was starting to think maybe this whole dating thing wasn't for me. That's when I met Marcus. He was a single dad I ran into at the grocery store, both of us reaching for the last box of organic cereal. "Sorry, you go ahead," he said with a warm smile, his dark eyes twinkling. We got a talking, and before I knew it, we were laughing about the trials of parenting and sharing our favorite recipes. He asked for my number, and I felt a flutter of excitement I hadn't felt in years. Our first date was at a cozy little bistro. Conversation flowed easily, and I found myself genuinely enjoying his company. Marcus was kind, funny, and completely down to earth. By the end of the night, I realized I hadn't thought about John once. Over the next few weeks, Marcus and I continued to see each other. He met my kids, and they took to him like ducks to water. He was patient, attentive, and made me feel seen and appreciated in a way I hadn't in a long time. One evening, after a particularly wonderful date, we sat on my porch, sipping wine and watching the stars. I looked at Marcus and felt a warmth in my heart. You know, I wasn't sure I'd ever find happiness again after John, I confessed. But you've shown me that love can be kind and uncomplicated. Thank you for that. He smiled, taking my hand in his. "Emma, you deserve all the happiness in the world, and I'm just glad I get to be a part of it." With Marcus by my side, I felt a renewed sense of purpose and joy. My boutique flourished, my kids thrived, and I finally felt like the queen I was always meant to be. I realized that life's too short to dwell on past hurt. Love and happiness were out there, waiting for me, and all I had to do was be brave enough to embrace them. Sunny Sunday afternoon, and I decided it was high time to sit my kids down for a heart-to-heart. My son, Jamal, was sprawled on the couch with his headphones on, and my daughter, Nia, was busy texting her friends. "All right, y'all, gather round. Mama's got something to share," I said, trying to keep my tone light and cheerful. Jamal popped one earbud out and gave me a quizzical look. Nia looked up from her phone, her teenage eyebrow already arching with suspicion. "So, Marcus, right? Well, he and I have been seeing each other for a while now, and it's getting serious. I wanted to see how you two feel about that." Silence. The kind of silence that makes you want to check if you're still breathing. "Mama, you just got out of a mess with Dad. Do you really think jumping into another relationship is a good idea?" Jamal asked, his voice laced with concern. "Yeah, Mom," Nia chimed in, her tone surprisingly gentle. "We just don't want to see you get hurt again." Later that week, I called up Tanya for some much-needed girl talk. We met at our favorite coffee shop, and I spilled the whole story. "Tanya, the kids are acting like I'm trading in our family sedan for a flashy sports car. They just don't get it." Tanya, ever the voice of reason, sipped her latte and said, "Girl, they're just worried. Change is hard for kids, especially after what y'all been through. But you deserve happiness, and they'll come around once they see Marcus is the real deal." As if the kids' resistance wasn't enough, John decided to throw his 2 cents in. He showed up one evening, looking like a man on a mission. "Emma, I heard you're seeing someone new. Don't you think it's too soon? Think about the kids." I squared my shoulders and looked him dead in the eye. "John, you lost the right to have a say in my love life the moment you walked out that door. I'm thinking about the kids, but I'm also thinking about myself. Marcus makes me happy, and I deserve that." Determined to clear the air, I called for a family meeting. Jamal, Nia, and Marcus sat around the dining table, and I took a deep breath. "Listen, I know this is a lot to take in, but Marcus is good to me, and he's good to y'all. I need you to trust me on this. We're a family, and families support each other." Marcus nodded, his eyes sincere. "I care about your mom a lot, and I care about you too. I'm not here to replace your dad. I just want to be someone who adds to your lives." It was a few weeks later, during a Saturday BBQ, that things began to shift. Jamal was helping Marcus with the grill, laughing at some joke, and Nia was showing him her latest TikTok dance. I watched from the sideline, my heart swelling with hope. Slowly but surely, my kids were warming up to Marcus. One evening, as we were cleaning up after dinner, Jamal came up to me. "Mom, I see why you like Marcus. He's cool and he makes you happy. I'm sorry I gave you a hard time." Nia hugged me from behind. "Yeah, Mom, we just want the best for you. And if Marcus is it, then we're on board." Tears welled up in my eyes as I pulled them both into a hug. Thank you, babies. That means the world to me. With my family's blessing, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Life wasn't perfect, but it was pretty darn close. I had love, I had my kids, and I had a future that looked bright and full of promise. So, to all my sisters out there dealing with family drama and new love, remember this. Stay true to yourself, fight for your happiness, and never let anyone tell you that you don't deserve the world. Life's too short to live in the shadows when you were born to shine.